just to pick one. This is a pediatric. This one is about probably 15 by, where's my tape measure at here? This one's 25 by about 27 in size. Again, 13.
It's different for each
Each chair,
chair.
yeah. When you get into the lightweight chairs, the variances, the variables that are available increase by 100-fold. There's only so many things you can do to this chair. So preferably, this chair is preferred in this part of the world, even though it's used, because it's of high quality. We do repairs of chairs, but we rarely get any in for repairs because they just hold up well. This is a sports chair. Again, what would this frame be? It's painted, so it's lightweight, yeah? Okay, very lightweight. This was one of the first styles ever made in lightweight chairs. It was made by a man in his shop at home for a lady friend of his that used to be a tennis player. She was in a car wreck, and she was using this, and she couldn't play tennis. He designed this type of chair, which allowed her to play tennis from the wheelchair. And from that point, the evolution in wheelchair manufacturing 30 years ago just made huge, huge changes. So it's very streamlined. Richard has got good trunk support, so he doesn't need armrests. The chair, if you'll profile it, go ahead and turn. You'll see that the seat is higher in the front and lower in the back. You'll see the back is tilted way back, and the back is also very short. So this gives him optimum ability to turn. So spin around and do a wheelie if you can. It's got wheelie bars on it. Papa wheelie?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got, this is an anti-tipper on it. Richard plays basketball with the team, so here, I'll take him off. If you get in this chair later to try it, be careful without the training wheels, because it's real easy to flip it over on your head. It's very well balanced. If I push on the back when he's up like that, I can flip him over really, really quick. If you look at the depth of the seat, this guy must be touching his head on the ceiling. But if you look at the seat, from the seat to the floor, his lower leg is this long and his upper leg is this long. So it's, I think somebody made a mistake when they did this chair. So we've gone from 41 centimeters as a basic depth up to 50 centimeters in depth. That's why we still have this chair, because it's going to be difficult to find somebody that's strange. Now, they may be an amputee, maybe below the knee, and they have good range at the knee, and they may be resting their lower part of their leg that would fit on the seat. That would be a use for the chair. So that's just to explain the seat on Hemi chair. This particular chair, you need sunglasses on this one. 30 centimeters wide, okay? Again, it's available in the whole range of chairs you see. But this one has the ability to tilt into about 45 to 50 degree back angle. Okay? Primarily, we use this for pediatrics, primarily CP kids that have whatever tone, high tone, low tone, fluctuating tone, spastic, whatever it might be. Head orientation in space sometimes is important, but we want to be able to control, at least give them some head support. So every tilt in space chair that you will probably see will have some type of a seating system on it, not just a sling back and a sling seat like this, okay? The biggest difference between a recliner, I can get this back even farther than that, but I'm changing the seat back relationship. If I want 90-degree relationship between the seat and back to keep the individual flexed, which a lot of times helps control extensor tone. If I don't get the flexion at the hip, the knee, and the ankle, I can't control the extensor tone. So with this chair, I can maintain the 90. This one, the minute I go back with the back, what happens when I sit in this, and the back is reclined, I do this, which is the worst position you can sit in. Amazingly, a lot of the little older ladies here love this chair because I found out most of them sit in the chair all day long. and there is a chance that somebody will come by and give them a little bit of a reprieve by lowering the back. And they may be able to scoot back in and get themselves from sliding off the front edge of the seat. But this is the biggest problem with the recliner. Okay, this is called the transport chair. And it is extremely light. It has a fixed arm that doesn't remove. It's got removable footrests. You'll see it has obviously little wheels in the front and the back. It's to transport someone that is not going to push the chair, obviously. So if you need the quick trip to the grocery store or to the doctor and the person can't push the chair, this one is a nice one. It's very easy to get in and out of the car. It folds and also the back folds down. So it's a very portable chair. Very, very light. This comes in a couple different sizes, 41 and maybe 46. So it's minimal on what you can do. Okay, and the bariatric. This is Big Bertha. Okay, so this again, this chair can come, and to call it a bariatric would be from about 50 up to about 28, or 50 to about 71, excuse me. That would be considered a bariatric. So 150 kilos to 200 kilos, maybe? Somewhere in that area. This chair is extremely heavy. I mean, for me to carry this around, it just, it's, you know, this is someone that obviously you can't get it through the door. But you want them out of bed. So they're going to be extremely limited. If you look at the wheel, the size of the spokes in the wheel and the front casters, they're huge. And there's many more spokes on the wheel. So you get somebody 300 kilos, you need all the help you can get. And underneath the chair, most chairs that fold come with one cross brace. You see this has two. Okay, now some of the components on the chair that are different. So this was the fixed arm, doesn't come off, okay? The removable arm, and the removable arm, if you're going to do a transfer from the bed to get this arm out of the way, a lot of times you get this much more area to be able to get on either left or right side. This is called the desk arm, and the desk arm is designed which allows you to get closer to a table, whereas the fixed arm, you'll stop way out. So you have that much difference between how much closer you can get to a table. One of the things that's an advantage to the full length arm or the fixed arm is that when you transfer out of the chair, you have something to do the transfer instead of reaching back here. So the arm is shorter, so you have to go back here. On the full length or fixed arm, you have support right to the front of the seat. Okay, this is the desk length, and this one is, again, the removable full length, which would be similar to this, only it comes off the chair. The shoulder should rest at a neutral position. You don't want to jack the shoulder up like this, and you don't want them reaching for the armrest like this. It should be in a neutral position. It's much easier on the shoulder girdle. Everything floats in the shoulder area, so you want to find a neutral position there so you're not creating more problems. If you see problems from a long-term wheelchair user, they're complaining of their shoulders, it's either the way the wheel is positioned or the way they're resting the arm on the arm of the chair. So neutral is really important. If you don't have the adjustable height arm, you can change that by the thickness of your cushion that you put underneath the person. Okay, there's a swing away arm. I didn't have a chair that had one. And that would be this. And on the sports chair, this one would come with this option right here. So this arm would set like this. You pull it up, it'll swing out of the way this way, or it'll pull out of the socket. And then on the socket that is attached to the chair, there's a series of holes that you change the height of it, a permanent height adjustment. We can change or we can cut it off if you don't need to change the height. Once on this chair you have it set, you see it's minimal support. You don't need a lot. A lot of times the individual that has this arm is using it only for a pressure release, a push-up, okay? And you'll see this primarily on tilt and space chairs that have seating. So if you want to get into the hip to position someone, it's nice to be able to get the arm out of the way so you can access the pelvis for appropriate positioning much easier. And then this locks by itself. This has a series of holes on the back cane. This is called the cane. and I can raise and lower the arm by how I position here. If my user is tilted in this position for the most of the day, the arm is not straight, so I have degrees of tilt that I can set the arm straight when I'm tilted back this far. So if I wanted to maintain the arm straight this way, when I tilt the chair back, it's not straight anymore. So there is a little slide right here. Now I can take the bolt out and I can, if this is where I want to leave this for the most part, maybe when I'm feeding or if I'm using the tray, a table for any reason, I can straighten the arm in this position. Okay? Okay, footrest. Lots of different footrests. The most common used is the swing away, which is this. This is adjustable in height. I can push this one down and I can change the height. Sometimes it has a bolt here that lets me change it. Appropriate height is extremely important in alignment when you go to the front edge of the seat. Weight bearing to disperse from the back to the front is going to help you when you adjust the footrest. This sets on 2 pins and it locks on the chair by itself. If you want to leave it on, the footrests flip up so you can use your feet, or for transfer, you can swing it out of the way for transfer. Or if you want to fold the chair, then the chair is foldable because the footrests either come off or fold up. These are elevated. It has a calf support, and there's 3 notches, so you can change it so it's appropriately aligning to the calf for maximal support. This one has a little bolt here where I can change the height of it, and then I can lift this up and it stops at whatever location all the way up. The thing about elevated leg rests, they take up a lot more room than just a standard swing away. So you have to make sure you have enough room in the house. If someone has a fracture, the other thing, when you raise this up, you watch my knee starts to raise up. So I'm not making contact now against this. So if you raise it up, you really have to put this way. So you'll extend the leg over the edge. Mostly for fracture. They say for edema, but the foot has to be above the heart, and obviously it's not above the heart. I can recline this chair all the way back, and my foot still is not really above my heart. So that particular theory for edema really doesn't fly. It's mainly for a fracture, or maybe not any range of motion in the knee. Maybe you have a knee that's structurally not able to flex maybe more than this. That would be the biggest indication for elevated leg rest. Okay? This one here does, that's 2-piece. That is a shoe holder. I think this is the only one we have. The sports chair has a 1-piece also. So this is a 1-piece footrest. And on the list, angle adjustment. So if I wanted more dorsal or plantar flexion ability, I can adjust it on these footrests by loosening it. Most of the kids' chairs are probably going to be 1 foot plate, maybe shoe holders on top, but you want to be able to have the ability to do the dorsal plantar flexion adjustability.